What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Halo video. Today we're going to be tackling the campaign levels in Halo 4, the first of the 343 told stories. I have mixed feelings when it comes to the Halo 4 campaign, for reasons that we will get into as we go through this. And I know some people think that Halo 4 was the worst game, some people think that it was Halo 5, some people think that it was Halo Infinite, and I am definitely not one of the people that think it's Halo 4. So first we have the level Dawn that starts the Halo 4 campaign. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed this level. I think what they did with it really fucking worked. While aesthetically it is different than the way the ship would have looked in Halo 3, the way they've designed the corridors and such is very much fun to play in. And I do love the sense of urgency that you have in this level. I almost want to say this, for me, is S tier because it has very Halo first level vibes. It really reminds me of Pillar of Autumn. It reminds me a lot of ways of Cairo Station. And when you get the battle rifle, once you go outside, and which this is kind of my favorite part, is that outer area. You got low grav, you got grunts, jackals, you got elites, you got plenty of stuff going on. And the stuff on the inside is really fun too, making your way through the corridors and kind of learning how, again, the enemies have changed. The grunts are different, jackals are a bit different, the elites are very different. Really, really good start to the game. And again, just visually, I like the way everything looks. I'm not a big fan of the change the enemy designs, but as far as the level itself goes, it's really nice to look at as I'm playing through it. Then up next we have Requiem. This is another really fun level. That's got some vehicle play, not really a whole lot. It's very Forerunner-esque, but you've got the ship floating in the air, coming down from the sky. It's very different, but it's very familiar. And then you got Warthogs, and Warthogs are always fun. So you're not really doing a whole lot, and it really sucks because unless you're playing co-op, you have nobody to operate the chain gun. So once you get through the driving section and you get to where there's enemies, either you're parking and then you're shooting, or you're getting out and then you're shooting with your guns. And so it doesn't really have a vehicular aspect, just because there is a vehicle, because there's nobody else to shoot the damn thing. And parking and getting out to operate the chain gun does not count. So this is definitely an A rank level. It's fun. It's very Halo feel. Like, it feels like the second level of the first game that is called Halo. You just don't have the Marines to help you. The level has that beginning of Halo 1 feel to it, but it also feels like the ending section of Halo 1, because it's just you and Cortana, and you're going through, discovering Forerunner terminals that, she's trying to access to learn where the fuck they're at and what the hell this thing is. So you get the sense of nostalgia, but it's new, and you just kind of want to see where the story goes. Then next we got the third level, Forerunner, and this is a fun level at some parts. There are some open areas where there's some ghosts, there's some banshees, you're fighting the Covenant. It also introduces you to the Prometheans, which the crawlers are basically just grunts. The Watchers they're just as annoying as jackals, if not more so. And then the Knights are basically the elites of the game, for the Promethean faction anyways. And they're more of a pain in the ass, but it's not as fun. The Prometheans to me aren't as inspired as the Covenant or the Flood are, and so there's something lacking to them. Like, they just lack character. The only positive aspect is that they are very, very much Forerunner in nature. And so you're trying to figure out not only where the hell you are, but what these things are now, because they're not Sentinels. You've seen Sentinels. They're not bothered by you. These things clearly are. So there's a different programming going on, and they see you as a threat, whereas the Sentinels don't give a shit. So you're trying to learn this difference, and it is really different. I like this level. I like everything about playing this level almost. Even all the way to the end, when you're in the area where the Didax ball is fun. It's fun to play as. There's so much going on, especially once the Covenant and the Prometheans are fighting back and forth. But then once you awaken the Didact and it's like, oh, he's a Forerunner. Well, I didn't see that coming. Well, then he turns into Darth Vader and he force chokes you, and it's like, okay, this is dumb. Like, I immediately hated that. If we could have just done something different with the Forerunner, it would have been fine. But the weird way he just grabs you with the Force, and like he could also just grab you and just smash your head in or throw you off something. Like, there's so many times that the Didact could kill you through Halo 4's story, and he doesn't because he's such an egotistical piece of shit. And he just wants you to bow down and accept that you're a lesser being instead of just flinging you off a cliff to your death. So as a level and a gameplay standpoint, this is an A. If we include my disdain for the Didact shit, then it would probably drop down to a B. Up next, we have the level Infinity, and this is definitely one that I don't like. Like, I really don't like the good first 2/3 of this level. I almost would put it in C tier, but because of the end of the game, or the end of the level, it's going to be in B tier. I don't like any of the shit where you're in the... It's supposed to be a swamp, but it doesn't look swampy. It doesn't have that swamp kind of feeling that we get from 343 Guilty Spark in the first game. But I don't like it. It's not fun. I don't enjoy that part. But once you get to the section where they go, here's a Scorpion, there's a Warthog, there's some vehicle action. It is very narrow spaces that you're doing the vehicle action in, but it's fun enough, and who doesn't like playing in a Scorpion? And then you drive the vehicle into the freaking ship, and you're like, damn, now we get to kill shit with the Scorpion. And then they take it away from you, and you're sad until you realize they're giving you a fucking mech. The Mantis gets introduced here. It wrecks shop. You get a chain gun that shreds littler enemies. You get the missiles that do some good work. You can squash them with the fucking robo legs. It's fun. But it's only that part that's fun. The first 2/3 of the level just really kind of drag on. Again, they feel very Sierra 1170, and that's just not enjoyable to me. I don't like that aspect, and it's not Forest. Forest gameplay is I don't have a problem with. I love the Covenant on Halo 3. This is just not done well, and Sierra 117 has that same not done well feel. Then we got Reclaimer. This is a fun level. It kind of offers different things depending on which part of the level you're at. You do get the jetpack, which is really cool. You get a sniper straight from the beginning. You can drive around on the Warthog, but you have to be careful because there are turrets, there's ghosts, there's the wraiths, so it's not a very big area to drive around in and have fun. But once you get further on, there is another area where you have to get on the Liched, or whatever that ship is called. It's a really weird looking, beetle looking ship. And you drive around, and there's ghosts, there's wraiths, several waves of them. So you get some fun vehicle action there. And then you have to get onto the Liched, whatever it's called, and kill everybody on board to neutralize it. And you'll do some sniping and shit. And there's a lot of Jackal snipers. So there's vehicle action, there's sniper action, there's normal pew-pew action. But at this point, the Covenant and the Prometheans are working together, so you're fighting both simultaneously. I feel like I like this one enough to put it in A tier? I don't know. Is it? I don't think it's S tier. I don't think it is. I enjoy it. There are parts that I enjoy. You'll, of course, go through the inside, and you'll do some shit, too, with the librarian and all that shit. But then once you get kicked out of there, and you get out through a portal, they're like, hey, here's more tanks, and you get to blow shit up, and, maybe this is an S tier level. I'm really trying to decide because, yeah, you get Warthog action, you get sniper action, you get Scorpion action. I think, yeah, I'm going to do it. I think this is an S tier. I really didn't think I was going to put that in S tier at first, but it checks off all the boxes. Then up next we got Shutdown, and this is a very interesting one because this is the first time we actually get to fly a pelican in gameplay without having to do any tricks to get in a pelican. But that part's so boring, and you're just in it to get from one place to another. There's not a whole lot of pelican action even going on, and it is so slow and cumbersome that it's not fun to fly. So it really feels like a missed opportunity, but at the same time, it's just eh. Plus the fact that you can skip the first fucking 2/3 of this level again is really weird. That they made it that way. You can just drive to the third tower and just be like, fuck it, let's go from here. There's some cool stuff in this one, but the gondola ride area at the first tower is tedious, and I'm not the biggest fan of. The second area is kind of like they took the gondola area, balled it up, and then said, here you go. So the second tower is really too. I do like the third tower. You get the first area, and you've got you've got banshees, you got platforms. There's shit that can go on, and that part's fun. But it takes so much to get there if you don't just do the skip, just to get to the very end. I think this is a solid B tier. Again, I do enjoy all the stuff that happens at the end. We've got elites to fight. We've got hunters to fight as well. And again, you get some banshee action going on. So it's not terrible. It's fun. But, again, it takes too much shit to get to the fun bits. Then up next, we got the composer. I'm really not a fan of this level. Again, I would put this level in C tier because I'm not a fan of most of the level, but the last act is good enough that it has to bump it up to a B. I want to put something in C tier, but again, the 3 levels I've put B tier have such a fun ending section that I can't justify putting it in C tier. And it's a weird thing with 343's games, specifically these levels. Like, why can't you have fun stretched throughout all of it? Why is the first half of these levels so boring, and then the second half is great? Infinity is just boring through the fucking swamp. Oh, and then you get a tank, and then you get the mantis. That's fucking dope. Shutdown really sucks. The beginning is so slow and boring, but then the second half, until you get outside, until you get to the part where you're doing all the mantis shit, and there's ghosts, phantoms, banshees, wraiths, that shit's fucking fun. There's something about vehicle play like that with just overwhelming odds against you, and you've just got to kill and kill and kill before more show up, that just makes it so fucking fun. And then despite all of your efforts, everybody still dies anyways. Then lastly, we have Midnight, and Midnight is a very... I don't like this level. I think this is going to be the level I put in C tier, and I'll tell you why. So I like the beginning. I like the part where you're flying around in the ship. And it's fun to fly around, but the little things shooting at you, it's fucking mosquitoes. They're doing nothing. That's not an actual enemy. The part where you fly around at the end of the flying section and you're blowing shit up just to take down the shield for Infinity to punch a very small hole in the hull of the Didact ship for you to fly in. It's eh. But the worst part is all the shit in the Didact ship. First of all, it's so samey. But then it also makes no fucking sense. Like teleporters and shit on the Halo ring. Okay, that's one thing for it to get you from here to there, but just the structure of his ship is so fucking dumb that it doesn't feel like you're playing on the ship. And there's just so much in between here and there that it just doesn't fit for me. It doesn't work. The ending section is fun, and you got the ha 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 ha. I'm gonna get copywritten if I sing any more of it. Halo 4, they do not like you using their sound shit. I don't know what it fucking is. But I just, again, I don't like the level. I don't like how samey it is. The ending isn't very satisfying. Now, what I mean specifically is the ending to the Didact isn't very satisfying. Especially the fact that you find out that not only did he live and fought Chief again, and Chief killed him again, but all of this happens in the fucking goddamn comics. All of this stupid shit happens in the comics. Now, to be fair, how did Chief and Johnson and them, how did they get back to Earth from, the Halo ring? How did, the other Spartans get off Reach? How did they all make it back to Earth to suddenly be there for, like, the Ghost of Onyx book, or to even exist in the Halo 5 story later on? But it didn't feel like... That was just kind of like, hey, how'd you get back? Oh, well, we took the scenic route. Oh, hey, Johnson, how are you immune to the flood? How'd you survive that? That's weird, bruh. But this is the entire purpose of the story. This is the bad guy. And so to kill him off at the end of the game, just to bring him back, to have him fight again, to kill him off again, in a comic series most people aren't going to read. I'm a diehard Halo fan. I'm not reading all the fucking comics and shit. I don't have time. I don't have time for that. If it's not that cohesive for the story, then either don't do it or explain it better. But we all know between Halo 4 to Halo 5 to Halo Infinite, storytelling is not 343's forte. So, the end section to this level is fun enough to play, but nothing happens in this level enough for me to go, well, the end was fun, so it's a B. Now, this one's definitely a C. I feel like one of them has to be a C, just because we have to be harsh on some of these levels, but this one I just don't enjoy playing. It's the least fun ending level out of any of the Halos, I'd say bar Halo 5, but even Halo 5's the ending level has a bunch of vehicle play that's fun. So, yeah, it might just be the worst last level in a Halo game. So that's going to do it for our rankings of the Halo 4 campaign. I'm honestly surprised that I found 2 levels that I ended up putting in S tier, because I knew the first one was going to be, because I just love playing it. It just has that nostalgic Halo feel to it. But I really didn't think that Reclaimer was going to have enough to make me feel like it was an S tier. Sure, A tier, but then when I realized it really checked off all the boxes, it is a good level. And it does offer you plenty of different things to do and different ways to play it. So, all in all, I feel pretty decent about this ranking. Someone is going to disagree somewhere, but I feel like for the most part, there's not really anywhere to disagree unless you just really liked the last level. But again, it's like, I gave reasons why all the levels in B ranking are fun, but it's like an even 50-50, and that's why it's a B ranking, which more or less says, I don't mind it, I don't dislike it. Midnight, I actually dislike. With that said, let me know what you guys think, and where did your favorite level from the Halo 4 campaign end up, and did we do it justice, or do you agree that some of the ones that aren't good just aren't that good? Let me know in the comments down below, and perhaps we'll have a civil conversation about it.